Her research interests includes the development and optimization of biosensor in disease diagnosis, drug discovery and nanotherapeutics, parasite genomics, and identification of novel drug targets, post-pathogen interaction, cell signaling, etc. She had guided 3 PhD, 10 masters, and 44 UG students, and she had published more than 40 articles in the peer-reviewed journal. And she has also published her one patent, US patent has been granted. She has received many awards such as the International Travel Award, SARC, Government of India for participating in World Immunoregulation meeting. It is in 13 to 16 March 2013, Switzerland. Young Investigator Award 2003, awarded by European Macrophage Dendritic Cell and Society, organized by University of Leicester, UK, August 2003, and nominated for INSA Young Scientist Award. I have mentioned some of the award. I have not mentioned all.
No need.
Okay.
No need.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Now you can start your presentation.
Thank you very much for this generous introduction of mine. I'm not that stretcher, so I wholeheartedly thank you for giving me the opportunity to represent the sensor work what NIT Durgapur and we are doing, and what is the basic methodology of sensing devices, the detection devices, and how it can be modified to develop a new point of care devices for easy detection of disease as well as the other chemical substances. So let me start my talk. I welcome all the participants, and you all are faculty members, so I heartily greet you after Bengali Vijaya Dasami and Durga Puja greetings to all of you. And let us talk about sensors. Since last day, you have already get acquainted with the vocabulary sensor, what sensor does. So I would just start with that note, and let me share my slide. Is it visible?
Now it is fine, ma'am.
Okay.
I think, ma'am, if possible, please make it full screen.
Yeah. I will be doing.
Okay.
Should I increase the sound volume, or it's okay?
So I think you can make the full screen.
No, sound.
No, sound is fine, ma'am. Sound is fine.
Okay. Before starting my talk, I will be sharing one study material. Already it has been shared, I think, by Dr. Atta. Have you got that one, participants? Can you tell me?
Yes, ma'am, we got that.
Yes, ma'am.
So for this, you just go through, after presenting my topic, I will be giving you 15 minutes, and in between time, you just go through that study material, and there will be one quiz sort of session. And how many persons you are in our group? How many participants? 30?
I think, madam, now 23 is on, total 23.
Okay.
I think they could join maybe.
Okay, so it will be divided into two groups, and two parts have been given in that study material. It is very small, 4 pages, so two pages. So in these two parts, two groups will be divided, and you will just read out that one, and one quiz sort of session we will be performing. So let us start my topic. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible. The first slide is visible.
Yeah. So let me introduce my institute, that is NIT Durgapur, and it is situated more than 180 kilometers far from Calcutta. And here it is the main entrance, and this right side building is the Department of Biotechnology, where we do different area of research, starting from immunology to plant biology, from microbiome to downstream process engineering. So in this department, we have shifted just 6 years before. Before that one, when we joined in NIT Durgapur, there was no tissue culture facility, and we developed and all these things. So after doing all this tissue culture facility, uh, we have not we, I should be telling I was offered one collaborative research opportunity from the CMERI CSI at Durgapur. That is just opposite, it is, this institute is located just opposite foot of our institute. There, one mechanical engineer approached me that, Madam, can we start some collaborative research by sensing this chemical by screen printing electrode, because he was developing one indigenous screen printed electrode, and I was supposed to detect something new by his modified screen printed electrode. So before that one, I didn't have any exposure of doing any applied science in IICB as well as in NIT Durgapur. I always did the basic science research that involved with the host parasite interaction, the pathogens, different cells, their cell signaling approaches. But how immunology has been uh, translated, the basic immunological knowledge, how it can be translated into the applied field, it is the main target of my today's talk, that everybody can switch to any discipline, any interdisciplinary research if we wish. So biosensor, if you just regard biosensor as a platform, it can be defined as an analytical device that measures the biological or chemical reaction by generating a signal. So any signal has to be produced after the interaction between the analyte and the platform. So the signal, it is proportional to the concentration of the analyte of the reaction. So if we know some standard concentration of the analyte and one standard graph is plotted, then a unknown concentration of the antigen can be put there, and the concentration by having the measured signal, we can put that signal into the standard graph, and the unknown analyte concentration can be determined. This is the basic fundamental theory, and as it involves multidisciplinary knowledge like chemistry, biology, engineering, the biosensors are employed in application in such that a disease monitoring, drug discovery, detection for the pollutants in the nature as well as the food, because food adulteration is already a major point of concern nowadays. So any chemical or bioanalyte, anything which are targeted to be analyzed, they are analyzed, and the surface of a sensor, they have some modifications so that they can recognize the analyte, and these recognition reaction, it is producing some signal and this signal is supposed to be proportional to the concentration of the analyte. These bioanalytes can be found in different biological samples like blood, urine, saliva, sweat. It is a picture of a device that is called the glucometer. The commercial name of the glucometer is we usually use one as the Accu-Check. Nowadays, it is a very common disease, diabetes. So, it is a small point of care device which enables you to detect the concentration of the glucose in a blood. So, what is the basic fundamental approach for doing such a chemical reaction and the analysis in a very small device? A needle is given to prick the finger, and one drop of blood it is poured over the sensor strip.
Hello,
So-
madam.
Yeah,
Sorry for disturb. Actually, sound is not clear. So I think you should stop your video because it is showing that your internet bandwidth is poor or something. So
okay.
then I think please stop your video and then I think it will be fine.
Video is stopped already.
No, because this is due to the I think poor internet network. I think you just stop your video.
Video is not coming.
Right, it is showing okay. This is showing some message due to the low bandwidth. Okay, now I think that now it is fine. Madam, please carry on, madam. Hello, hello, madam. Hello.
Now the connection is okay.
Yeah, now it is fine. Now it is fine. Okay.
The
Sorry,
connection
sorry.
was poor.
Okay.
Is it visible?
Yes, yes, visible. It is. Visible and
Yeah.
sound is also clear.
Okay. So this is a strip which is the
Hello.
We are not hearing anything. Sir.
Actually, yeah, this is just due to internet problem. I'm trying to connect with her.
Is it okay?
But please share your slide, madam.
Is it okay?
Now it is fine. Now it is fine.
So the sensor device, which are targeted to be point of care sensor, they are composites of a electrode, small electrode, and these electrodes are inserted in a small electronic device where the bioanalyte, that is the biological samples which carries the analyte. Here in the glucometer, the glucose is the target analyte, and when the bioanalyte interacts with the electrode, the electrochemical reaction happens, and when the electrochemical reaction happens, the free generation of the electron, it flows and creates some signals, and the change of the signal is monitored and transduced to the electronic device, which converts this signal into the data system, and the data is displayed over the monitor. So this is the basic disease diagnostic as well as analyte diagnostics point of care devices which are being made and developed and modified this new world. Now, the system by which it is recognized, it is the mode of action. The round red dots are the analytes, and it is the sensory layer, means the basic surface, the electrode surface, which recognize the analyte. It has some receptor like structures. It is called the sensory layer. When the analyte and the sensory layer interacts with each other, the recognition happens, and the transducer transduces its signal to the next level. What is the next level? From the transducer, in case of electrochemical signal, optical signal, or mechanical signal, the change of signaling, it is recognized by the transducer, and the output system, that is the electronic device, it read out the technology, and the amplification of the signal happens by the amplifier, and data acquisition and processing is done in the last device. So the typical biosensor, it is composed with a bioreceptor, transducer, electronic device, and display system, which recognize and analyze the analyte. we go through this video, it is it seen?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So biosensor is a chemical device. The scheme followed. It is the analyte, the sensing element, and the transduction unit which has to be sensed. The component is this, and it is the transduction signaling processing. How the transmission happens? Very simple method. The sensor have many widespread uses like the environmental and medical monitoring. And if you look like the type of the sensor, DNA or nucleic acid or aptamer, RNA, all types of biomolecule, protein, enzyme, anything which are biologically available, they can be analyzed, and a redox mediator which enhance the signaling capacity by carrying the free electron to the transducer as well as the linker, it helps to give more concentrated and more profound signaling reaction. Now, where it can be used at the bedside, at medical emergency site, at medical labs, for home-based medical care, all the where you can use a point of care system. Now, these are two small devices. One is DNA capture element instrument for hereditary diseases. Means some diseases, they are hereditarily transmitted from one generation to another generation. In that cases, like the phenylketonuria, like the vitiligo, means in Bengali it is called the sheti, means the melanin deposition of the skin. It is not being deposited properly and the skin becomes white, not taking a normal color. It is called the vitiligo. It is a genetic disease. Other than that one, the sickle cell anemia, different type of blood cancer, all they are involving some genetic resemblance. For detecting these sort of genetic diseases, the bioanalyte, means the protein, the biomarker of this disease is not to be analyzed. The defective gene has to be analyzed and compared with the proper segmented, properly sequenced normal gene segment. For this purpose, DNA has to be analyzed, and it is a DNA capturing small device, and it is a glucometer measurement for the glucose. Both
Madam,
the devices.
slide not changed.
Oh, if the slides are made full
Madam.
screen, na, they are
Madam.
not being changed. So
Madam.
full, huh?
You can do one thing. In the left side, whatever slide you are going to discuss, that you just click that slide in the left side. Then it will be changed. I think up to 7 you already discussed.
No. The problem is whenever you make the full screen, the slide is not changed. So each and every time escape button has to be pressed. So I am not doing full screen. Is it visible?
Yeah, it is visible. But I think you should try to click in the left side, madam.
Left side. Oh,
Yeah.
acha.
Left side
So
slide.
then left side full screen it won't be coming, na?
Okay, then you just keep the, no need to make the full screen.
Yeah. So in this device, in these two devices, one is DNA capturing device. Is it seen?
Yes.
DNA capturing device, and the left one is the glucometer. for detection of the blood. So, and the left panel is the pregnancy PREG color test. It is a very common point of care device where a drop of urine is dropped to give the cholerogenic reaction and to indicate whether pregnancy is there or not. And another one is the coal mine biosensor, where previously in the coal mines, when it was subjected to detect whether the methane and other sulfur gases are harmful for bodies, and the coal miners who used to visit there, if there are any um, uh, there are any harmful gases, previously small birds were sent down to the mines, but if and they were taken outside, and if they died, it was supposed that there was harmful gases. But nowadays sensor has made it possible, just putting the sensor inside the coal mines, it can detect what are the panel of gases prevailing in that nature. And the biocare biosensor platforms, they look like this in a large scale hospital industry level, as well as the small scale level. Everything, it can be manipulated depending upon the need of the situation. So the pollution control is also a very important area for detection by the biosensor. In the environment, what are the gas composition, what are the pollutant titer, it can be measured easily by the chemical sensors. So these are the main applications by which it can be measured that the sensors is the slide changed, the types of biosensors.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So whatever we have discussed, the application field, depending upon their nature of the analytes, it can be divided into these. The biological element can be antibodies, DNA, enzyme, biomimetics, and the phage. Phage means the viral component which are used to transduce or carry the genetic materials. Now, the methodology by which the analysis of the signal is done, depending on that one, the transducting method divides into these varieties, which can be exploited to analyze the analytics of different characteristics. One is optical biosensor, another is electrochemical biosensor, and next one is piezoelectric. What is this? The optical biosensors are fiber optics, surface plasmon resonance optics, Raman and FTIR, and others. These sense of optical signal production, they are captured by the optical biosensor, and through that biosensor different analytics are developed to analyze the product of target. The electrochemical biosensor, they involve potentiometric, amperometric, conductometric, and impedometric. The potential, uh, the electrical potential, the amperometric change, the conductivity change, as well as the impedance change due to the reaction between the analyte and the sensor. These are the methodology by which the electrochemical biosensor are exploited. And the mass-based biosensor means the change of mass after the reaction between the analytes and the sensor device. The change of mass, it is detected and analyzed by magnetoelectric and piezoelectric method by quartz crystal microbalance and surface acoustic wave. So these are the basic types of biosensor which are exploited, and different types of the sensing devices have been developed. In case of electrochemicals enzyme based biosensor, what happens? Suppose we want to detect the glucose component of our blood, because in blood there are several chemicals other than glucose, but we want to detect glucose only. How it can be manipulated or manufactured? The electrode base, suppose it is the electrode base, and the first generation biosensor, there are three types of biosensor: first, second, and third generation biosensor. In the first generation biosensor, they just exploit the enzyme on which binding glucose substrate produce hydrogen peroxide. So there are enzyme called the glucose oxidase, and these glucose oxidase enzyme is embossed, and the binding of the glucose in our blood sample will be happen if they interact with each other, and in the end reaction production of hydrogen peroxide is happen, and oxygen consumption requires the production of free electron generation, and these free electron generation, it is just flowing through the electrode, and it is analyzed, which is giving the end reaction. And the second generation biosensor, it relies on the artificial redox mediator, means any mediator which helps to carry the electron, free electron. If there are one third party introduced as a redox mediator, it involves one step more, that it is a carrier of the free electron which helps them to circulate between the electrode. The third generation biosensor, it achieves direct electron transfers between the enzyme and the electrode. Means it is more smart, and directly electron can be transferred between the enzyme and the electrode. So these sort of reaction happens. The reaction is seen: the glucose, the beta D glucose, when they consume oxygen. In nature, there are oxygen. The interaction of oxygen with the beta D glucose, in presence of the enzyme glucose oxidase, gluconic acid is formed, and the byproduct hydrogen peroxide is formed. In the next step, these hydrogen peroxide is dissociated in presence of current, and these dissociation, it involves the production of free electron, and the circulation of the free electron, it gives the signals, and the signal change between the concentration of the glucose, it is directly proportional to the free electron produced in the last step. As the free electron is more, the signal is more. So if the known concentration of the glucose is plotted against the amperometric changes, conductivity changes, or impedance changes, there are lots of variety of devices which can analyze the signal changing. If the standard concentration of glucose is plotted against the signal generated in the last step, the unknown concentration of the glucose can be determined its concentration by putting the measurement of the signal. This is a device, small device, enzyme-based electrochemical biosensor for detection for cholesterol. Like this, the cholesterol, which are a very common analyte, we do regular monitoring in our blood analysis. These cholesterol also can be measured. I will be describing. We have developed one indigenous point of care device prototype for detection of the vitamin D, and here you will be seeing other devices. So the next step, next variety of the electrochemical biosensor, the next variety is the surface plasmon resonance biosensor, which involves the optical sensitivity change, and the analytics are done over these methodology. That is, it is a sensor chip. The yellow is the sensor chip, and these are the linker molecules which holds antibodies. Do you know what is antibodies? Let us describe the antibodies first. Antibodies are the protein generated inside our body whenever the body is facing some foreign component called the pathogen, or some chemical which are not regarded as a self component, then the body interacts with these foreign component, and one special chemical is generated inside the body. It is called the antibody. Now antibody has specificity against the special antigen, or the analyte, or the pathogen which are coming, which are interacting from the outside. So the antibodies are meant to recognize the foreign pathogen. Nowadays, it is a very common vocabulary, antibody. You know, the SARS-CoV virus, when we interact in nature, we are interacting with the viral component. And when the virus is ingested inside our body system, the body generates antibody against that virus. And in small quantity, if the virus is introduced to the body system, what happens? All the cells of the body, immunity is triggered, and all the cells, they are triggered to produce the antibody. And for the second and third time, if the same antibody is interacting with our same pathogen is interacting with our body system, then all the time the cells what have been already produced that antibody, they are educated. And as we are educated against some foreign pathogen, when the second time, third time this pathogen is interacting with our body, the cells directly recognize them and is capable to clear them from the body system. They can fight, and this is the basic fundamental theory of vaccination. In case of vaccination, what is given? The viral component is introduced to the body, and when the viral component is introduced in a small quantity, they educate the cell system, they produce the antibody. For further use, it is reserved for the body system. And when naturally, when you interact with the viral infection, the already educated cells and pool of antibody ready for fighting against the pathogen, they will be directly challenging this infectivity. So this is the basic funda of uh, using antibodies in sensor system. They are used to just recognize the perfect antigen or analyte or a chemical. So non-specific recognition we don't want. If we just expose our device electrode, there are varieties of pathogen in nature, varieties of chemicals in nature. we don't want the non-specific interaction. So specificity is conferred by introduction of specific antibodies, ligand for that biomolecule or the chemical, or any linker molecule which are very much specific to interact, that is done. So in case of SPR biosensor, level-free optical biosensing technology is exploited. In XPR method, the optical measurement of refractive index changes associated with the binding of analyte molecules. So if the analyte is perfectly matching with the sensor device receptors, here it is a antibody exploited as a receptor. If the specific receptor ligand interaction happens, then the signal is changed by refraction, and the light source which are being passed, if the interaction happens, the light is refracted, and through surface plasmon resonance it is being analyzed. To the next variety, which detects the mass change after the signal change. Here what happens, the high frequency of oscillation, it is measured. If the specificity between the analyte and the receptor, it happens, the frequency of oscillation, it is changing, and this frequency is measured as the mass balance change, and by analyzing the change of this thing, it is the piezoelectric change measurement is exploited. The next one is cantilever based biosensor, that is the bending of the surface of the sensor device, the electrode. Means if we put something new, they will put some wet, and these recognition, specific recognition. Here can you see the receptor, the cup-like receptors and the analyte. If they match with each other molecularly, then will be the recognition is happen, and the interaction will create a complex formation, and these complex will be deposited over the cantilever, and the bending of the cantilever and the oscillation of the cantilever can be measured by the cantilever based biosensor. So these are the variety by which we can measure. The other varieties are DNA biosensor, aptamer biosensor. We are not going vivid because we will be running short out of time. Aptamer biosensor, and these lab on chip small device biosensor. Can you see these are the small device lab on chip biosensors? Small chips, they have multi channels. If you put your analytes in one channel, it will be passed, and the interaction between the analyte and the electrode, the working electrode, there will be some modifications. Already modification has been done to give the chemical reactions, and these reaction change will be producing the signal change, and these change of signals, they are detected by the detector. The nanochip molecular biology workstation is a very small commercial lab on chip where the DNA arrays can be analyzed. A multiple DNA based diagnosis can be done at a time. Now we will be showing the antibody based biosensor. What are the antibody based biosensor? Uh, it is the sensor, and this is the linkers and the surface modifiers. There may be surface modification or may not be. If required, you can use such linker which would hold that antibody molecule. These antibody are the stretches of amino acid sequences, and these amino acid sequences, they will be embossed over their carboxyl ends, these Y-shaped structure. These Y-shaped hands are meant to capture the analyte, suppose blood or sweat or tear. These bioanalytes are present in the biosamples, and these are captured by the FAB portions or the hand-like portions of the antibody, and the FC portion, that is the leg-like anchoring section, it will be embossed over the sensor surface, where we use the carbon nanotubes, graphenes, gold, silver, silicon nanomaterials. They are very much porous and have the super absorbent capacity. If they are very much absorbent in nature, sometimes it don't need any linker molecule or redox mediator to pass the redox signal or to hold the analyte capturing receptors. These are the receptor biorecognition element. So whenever this interaction happens, transducer captures the interactive signal, and the data analysis is done in the electronic devices, giving some output as a data. We have done one publication before 2017, and now on the base of these study, we have modified our new study to develop a point of care, a lab on chip sort of device to detect the breast carcinoma in a very early stage. Now, for this recognition, how the methodology of this production of this interaction happens, we will be just showing you a video. It will be better if you just look at the video. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
So I will be just going directly to the mode of action because it is somewhat large. So these are the electrodes. It is the working electrode shown here. And in this working electrode, some chemical modification is being done. These chemical modification, if we put something receptor like thing, it will be adding as a linker, and this linker, it will be holding the bioanalyte. Now, how it is being held? These bioanalyte, when they are attached, the signal change is followed. At first, it was black, the signal, and when the bioanalyte is just interacting, the signal is being changed. Now, in the next step, this is the receptor which will link the second generation receptor, that is the antibody. This is the surface, working electrode surface. This is the linker molecule, and this linker molecule will hold the antibody. Now, this antibody will be recognizing the end analyte specifically. How it is being made? Just see. All the time, if chemical adding and replacement or interaction happens, the signal pattern is changed, and this analysis is done how the signal pattern is being changed. Here we have used, in this PPT it has been used, we haven't used like this PPT, it has been used that these two linker molecules have been used to hold the antibody perfectly. Now the antibody has to recognize the chemical which has to be analyzed or recognized. How it will be done? This is the analyte. These triangle shaped analyte, if you look properly, the picture or the molecular design of the analyte is perfectly fitting with the receptor. Here we have used the receptor as antibody, and this antibody has been fixed or held tightly over the working electrode by the linker molecule, so that if washed, it should not be displaced, and the specificity of the analyte should be recognized by the antibody, and no non-specific binding is done. And you can see the peak, they are being changed, and in standard graph is being plotted with known concentration of the antibody by measuring the peaks, and when the standard graph is measured, the unknown concentration of the analyte giving some peak value, we may put the peak value in a standard graph and measure the concentration of the analyte. This is the basic methodology by which it has been done, the electrochemical biosensing analysis. Is the slide seen? The biochemistry paper?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So in our study, what we have done, this is the small electrode and this is the working electrode, these are the counter and reference electrodes. Capture antibody has been embossed first, then the blocking reagent means which blocks the other portions of the surface to hinder the non-specific binding of the receptor, and the antigen HER2 is the biomarker antigen for breast carcinoma, as we analyze the SARS-CoV-2 antigen for the COVID infection. Here, the for the breast carcinoma, HER2, HER2, HER2 is the biomarker which has to be analyzed. So that antigen is interacted in the next step, and in the second step, the secondary antibody, the yellow color antibody is the secondary antibody which will be interacting with this antigen. Now the secondary antibody which is tagged with biotin, biotin can interact with avidin. Now the enzyme horseradish peroxidase is an enzyme which is tagged with avidin is put in the next step. So what will happen? The biotin will interact with avidin to give a interaction. These sort of complex will be formed. That is the antigen. It is interacting with the uh, electrode surface by the mediation of the primary antibody, antibody 1, the blue color. The secondary antibody is giving the signal. So we have to produce one signal also now. So to produce the signal, the secondary antibody, which is also specific for this antigen, is coupled with the enzyme, and in the last step the substrate of the enzyme is put in the surface of the electrode, which would give some colorogenic reaction, and the enzyme substrate interaction is giving colors and producing some electrochemical reaction. The hydrogen peroxide, that is the tetramethylene benzene, it is interacting with the enzyme horseradish peroxidase. Both are interacting, giving a continuous reaction, reduction reaction of production of hydrogen peroxide, and the hydrogen peroxide dissociation into H plus or H minus produces free electron, and these free electron circulation in the sensor field, it produces signal changes, and the standard concentration of HER2 antigen has been uh, tried for optimizing, for generating a standard graph of the signal or the amperometric end signal versus the antigen concentration has been produced, and through the standard graph the unknown concentration, suppose to chemically optimized concentration of the standard HER2 antigen has been exploited to produce a standard graph, and one unknown sample, some human subjects, means me, you, or anybody can prick your finger, give a drop of blood and put it over the electrode surface. Then there are HER2 antigen, because these antigens are present in everybody, but there are threshold level. If it crosses the threshold level, then it is told that there are risk factors for developing the breast carcinoma. Nowadays, the breast carcinoma is the second most leading cause of death in whole world, not only our country, and the second most common cancer also. So the cause of the breast carcinoma, there are several causes. Is this video visible? Is this video
Yeah,
visible?
now video is stopped, I think. Hello.
Hello?
And now video is stopped. Initially it was playing.
Pardon?
Now it is stopped, your video.
It is stopped. Oh, when we do the full screen, it is stopped. That is the problem. Oof. Look, okay, let me start.
Now it is fine, working.
So, that video showed you what is the basic reason of formation of a cancer. The uncontrolled growth of a cell when the brain fails to stop the growth of a cell, the cell grows on and over each other and forming a lump, and this is the cause of formation of a tumor. Tumor is the formation of the procancerous state, and when there are more triggering of the multiple steps of formation from a benign tumor to a cancerous tumor, cancer happens. The breast carcinoma, this PPT is visible. The breast carcinoma symptom and death occurrence and the diagnosis. This PPT is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
So the breast carcinoma, the symptoms are drinking alcohols, taking oral contraceptive pills, exposure to the natural pollutants, heredity, and late menopause, early menopause, early onset of menstruation. uh, all these are the reasons and the symptoms. So in case of females, the death occurrence is this much, and breast carcinoma, other, in comparison to other cancer varieties, they are the second most cause of the death. So the disadvantage of current method for detection of carcinoma is they are time consuming, trained personnel are needed, and expensive. The laboratory test for antigen detection, the CA27 antigen, CEA antigen, alkaline phosphatase, liver function test, all these are the tests, mammogram, biopsy, these are the tests currently done for diagnosis of cancer. And the gene diagnosis for HER2 antigen biomarker analysis, it is done by the gene DNA detection assay. All needs time, money, and skilled personnel. To avoid this one, we don't make ourselves available for checking up regularly. The females are not aware of their body malfunctioning, and the late stage of detection, it is the primary cause of the maximal death caused by the breast carcinoma. So our goal was to detect early and to diagnose and giving proper treatment. And if treated early, breast carcinoma is not fatal that much. The normal healthy individuals have HER2 concentration below 50 nanogram per ml, and the patient which are diagnosed as a breast carcinoma patients, they are over 50 nanogram per ml. So we have developed one point of care detection device which ranges from the level of 15 to 75 nanogram of breast carcinoma biomarker HER2 in our blood samples. And this sensor system has been developed by the electrochemical methodology. And this is our point of care device prototype, laboratory scale prototype. Can you see this prototype? This small one. And nowadays it is being developed as a commercialable small point of care device sort of package. We are being developing that one. So the end product of this electrochemical device is giving some signal change. This is the signal giving changes, and the concentration of HER2 antigen in respect to current peaks, in respect to uh, the potential. These graphs are calibrated and plotted, and the concentration against this antigen versus the potentiality change, they are giving the uh, unknown concentration which can be diagnosed, which can be detected from a unknown blood sample. And through these point of care devices, we have uh, compared that nowadays the cost of breast MRI with contrast in Delhi is 6900, and the gene sequence is 18,000. And in comparison to that one, our proposed lab and chip cost only 200 to 250 rupees per sampling. And likewise, we have developed uh, one vitamin D detection device. Vitamin D is also a very important biomarker for obesity, for cardiac diseases, for depression, and for uh, myocardial infarction, that is the heart attack or the cardiac malfunctioning. And the osteoporosis is a very common side effect of low vitamin D concentration. And that is why nowadays the vitamin D, it detection, it involves a skilled and very sophisticated machinery, and we have proposed one lab on chip device which costs not more than 500 rupees per sample, and today it is costing more than 2500 rupees per sampling. So these are our basic idea for detection, and the IoT enabled health kiosks can be formed where in the remote place, in the remote villages, and where the skilled personals are unavailable, where the large setup of hospitals are not feasible to reach for that populations. They can do these point of care tests, and these devices are attached with the Wi-Fi module, which can be giving signals to the cloud system, and these cloud system can analyze and give data to the super specialty hospitals where the um, consultants are there to analyze the data, the chance factor for uh, analyzing the chance factor for occurrence, because all the time it is not that if the HER2 antigen is in elevated level and it is signature for carcinoma, all the time it is not, because heredity plays a major role. Some family there are elevated level of HER2 antigen, so the goal is to screen the chances of occurrence. So if there are possibility for going invasion of metastatic cells, because if there are infection, there are infectious diseases or cancer or any um, infectivity which are localized, they can be treated early. But if it spreads, metastasis is nothing but the spreading. So if metastasis happens, then it is very difficult to analyze and to just treat that one. So to avoid that one, we have tried to uh, monitor this one, to screen this one in early stage, and we have filed patents for DNA detection, for vitamin D detection, and for detection for antigens, mainly with HER2 antigens. And luckily, it has been covered by news channels and uh, publications, media, paper media. And it is not that we have reached to the optimum level, but we have tried to form a laboratory scale device which can screen the deleterious harmful diseases. And whenever we are successful to make it a package prototype, it would be tried for technology transfer. And nowadays successfully NIT Durgapur has already transferred different devices like the Ambu bag. Perhaps you have heard of about the Ambu bag, that is the mini ventilator and the oxygen concentrator due to COVID. And here we are trying to just give this impression and develop some lab on chip devices for detection of this HER2 antigen, that is the breast carcinoma marker. So this is all my presentation by which we can detect. And Dr. Atta, is there any time? Is there any time to go for the interactive quiz section? We can't.
Sir, madam, we can keep a question answer for 10 minutes because it is already 3:55.
Yeah. So should
So-
we? Do you have any idea? Uh,
Now,
Let
I
me.
think, and I think we can ask the participants if they have questions. First of all, I would like to thank madam for you have nicely discussed the use of biosensor for
Thank you. Thank you.
disease diagnosis. So I also request, madam, if please make the screen full in the last slide. I want to take
Okay,
some
okay.
screenshot.
Okay, okay. Is it there?
It is not full screen, but I can
It
take.
is full screen. It is full
But,
screen in my.
but in my system it is not showing. Okay, no problem. I will take this shot. Okay, thank you, ma'am. So
Let me enlarge. Is it enlarged?
No,
No.
yeah, now it is fine. Now it is fine. So, great. Yes.
No, it is.
We
more
hope we hope you will get the give the better sensor or maybe biosensor in the near future.
Yeah, we are nowadays we are trying to collaborate with CMTI Bangalore. They will be producing the prototype, and we would try to transfer the technology to any commercial company so that it can be made in batch scale, and the price may be reduced more and more. The more the price will be reduced, the advantage of the society is there.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So if participants, if you have any query or any questions, you can ask.
Dr. Atta, this is my first slide if you want to take the picture for this.
Yeah, I have taken the first one also. Middle one I also
Yeah.
I have. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. So if dear
Madam, can
participants,
you
if you have,
explain the video? Sorry.
Do you have any question?
Madam, can you explain that video which you have shown about the full body video or something like a cancer?
I couldn't get your point. What?
The one video I have seen there, but
Huh.
I expected that some explanations about that video.
Okay.
But
Explanation of cancer video. That cancer video.
yeah.
So cancer
How it
video.
is, how that was monitored, and then
Okay.
have you measured about anything?
Your question about that video or my
Yeah,
system?
video. Yeah, video.
Video. Let me
Yeah,
go to that video.
yes, ma'am.
The sound was off. You couldn't hear the sound.
Yes, ma'am. No sound.
Oh,
No
you didn't
background
hear
sound.
any sound.
Yes, ma'am. I didn't hear any
Oh, Dr.
sound.
Atta, you also didn't hear any sound.
no, when you discuss that time I got sound. Please, ma'am, you just again.
No. This video sound is audible or not?
Yeah, initially there was. Yeah, this one. There's no audible audio, ma'am.
Okay, let me describe. What happens when the cells divide inside our body system? Normal cells grow in such a way that all the cells, when they touches with each other, the growth of the cell stops. You just see, if they grow, if one cell touches with other, they stop. It is called the contact inhibition. That, like that, when we go through a road and if we touch some other, we stop. We won't just go by giving a thirst to other and going very vigorously through a road. It is not desirable. So here also cells normally don't want to disturb each other. It is called the contact inhibition. So when the normal cell grow, what it looks like this. Now, if there is a mutation in a gene, means the gene has a specific orientation, amino acid sequence. What is amino acids? They are the building blocks of proteins. As we write a sentence with words, and words are written by letters. So if letters are mismatched and misoriented, no such word will be created, and no meaningful word if not created. How a sentence can be created, how a paragraph can be created, how a book can be written. So the basic things are the letters. Letters rearranged to produce some word, word rearranged to produce a sentence, then paragraph, then book. Like this, the amino acids, they uh, arrange and rearrange to make proteins, peptides, then proteins, then large molecules, then the tissues, organs, cells are grown. Like this, if the DNA, it is the double helix structure of a DNA. If the DNA sequence is uh, deorganized or mismatched or mutation, we tell them scientifically, then what happens? The contact inhibition property is lost. The cells are growing over each other. The monolayer is disturbed and the lump is created like this. This is called the tumor. Where the monolayer, you just touch your screen, this is having some monolayer, a single flat layer. But when the contact inhibition property is hampered, then what is happened? They are forming the disturbed cell growth, and one after another the cell is growing and producing a lump. It is called the tumor. Now the next step, what happens? So in the tumor, these orange color cells are the tumorous cells. So in these tumors, they are supplied with blood vessels normally. So when blood vessels arises, they are supplying food, nutrition, oxygen for their growth. So these abnormal growth is happened. But when the tumor is localized, then it is easy to treat. You can kill the cells by applying different anti-carcinoma drugs, or you can operate that tumors. But when they invade, it is called the metastasis. These orange color cells are the defective cells. When they are leaving the site of the tumor and they are flowing other sides of the whole body, then there are problems. Adjacent area they are invading. Other part of the body they are going, and there they are forming tumors. So one tumor can be dispersed into multiple organs and forming different more and more numbers of tumor, creating a mess. Understood?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Any other question?
How did you observe this is through your sensor?
In sensor, it is not observed. Our sensor is targeted to screen early, as it is a small device and it is very easy to use. You just prick a drop of blood and you can have a hunch whether the breast carcinoma biomarker is beyond 15 and 15 nanogram per ml or not. If it is beyond that one, then it is a signature of a disease condition, a risk condition. Then there are several confirmatory tests for screening and confirmatory tests for carcinoma detection. You can go for that one. This is our goal, to detect early, to screen early. And for metastasis, if you cannot, because in the primary stage there is no symptom, as we don't have any symptom, we don't go for a checking. This is our problem. If we regularly check, then there was no problem, no such problem.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much.
So any question, please? I think, madam, they have no more questions. So thank you again for your presentation. But I'm very sorry we are not able to take your interactive session, that means question answer type.
Yeah,
Due to
yeah.
the time. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Okay. I have already sent you two questions that
Yes.
study, the 4-page study material which has been already circulated.
I already shared with the participants.
So please, I would request participants to go through that material, and in your last session, if there are any possibility of getting question answers and all these things, questions may be asked, or any other
Ma'am, I
methodology
have one more
of.
question. Sorry for the
Yeah,
disturbance.
yeah, no problem.
I have one more question. Is there any possibilities to do collaborative research with the mechatronics department? You are in the chemical
Yeah,
department.
mechatronics. Yeah, because my first collaborator was from mechatronics in CMERI.
Oh.
So I am very eager to collaborate. I don't have any inhibition. Wherever there are possibility for just influxing your idea and collaborating with my idea, I am always prepared.
Yes, I am also looking for the collaborative research, ma'am. I am
Okay.
mechatronics
You are
department staff.
from?
Hindustan Institute of Technology and Science, Chennai.
Okay. Okay, you mail, I would respond.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you,
Aka.
thank you, madam.
Yeah.
So now I have one announcement. Ma'am, if you want, you can leave. Yeah, participants, all are requested to present tomorrow at the yoga session at 7:30 a.m. Okay. So you must present tomorrow morning, 7:30.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.